Everyone, it's RJ here with another episode of Sips and Chill with RJ, and I have a special friend with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Abby Evans, but my pen-up name is Abby Queen Creole.
Okay, Abby, where are you from?
I'm from Duluth, Georgia.
Duluth, Georgia, by way of Memphis and Tupelo.
I wish, yeah.
I feel it, girl. I feel it, girl. Okay, so how did you get into Elvis?
I got into Elvis through my aunt Gay. She is one of the lights of my life. She got me into it at a younger age, but like I didn't fully, of course, understand the potential of him when I was that young. Of course, because I think I was probably about 8 or 9, and I was just trying to figure out everything. Um, so when she finally got me into it, I was like starting to realize throughout my childhood, Elvis has kind of always been there, like Reese and Hairspray, and like those being my two favorite movies of all time. My mom was just like, the signs were here, you just didn't see them. And I think my first ever song I heard by him was Heartbreak Hotel, and that's when I think I fell in love with him the most. That was before the Elvis movie, which the Elvis movie I think was probably the highest potential of when I truly got into him because I actually understood his story and knew more about the person he was other than just the music he's singing, because music is something powerful, and you I like to know the person also that I'm singing the song of, because if they're not a good person, I'm going to say the music hits different. It does, like, because you think about that fact. Now, there's nothing wrong with just liking their music and not them as a person, I guess. That's kind of your own thing. But personally, I want to know the person I'm singing or listening to, because it is important, I think, also for the artist for us to know their story.
That is true. You can hear a person's soul in their music. I definitely believe that. That is beautifully said. Yeah. Um, so when you saw the movie, because I know what, like, I know I went to the movie theaters to see it 4 times as well. So you said you went to go see it 4 times too. So yeah, I saw my cousin once, and I remember just seeing the commercial. Like I told you, I'm gonna reveal my secret because the world doesn't know yet, Abby. I saw Austin Butler and my reference, God forgive me, Austin, if you ever hear this, baby, I love you and I am so sorry, but we're the same age, so I wasn't watching Disney Channel or Nickelodeon like that. Oh, look, it's Vanessa Hutchison's boyfriend. I am so sorry. Now I feel like Timothy Charlemagne. Timothy Charlemagne said, "That's Austin. That's Austin right there." So that's how I feel like. That's Austin. Yeah, I get it now. I get it now. How is it with you when you saw Austin Butler portray Elvis?
I think it was a life changing experience.
True.
As soon as there's that one scene, he's just like revving up, starting to sing like music of God, just with Gladys and everything. And I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, he's about to, oh, okay. All right. I know where this is about to go. I know what's about to happen, because, you just saw the hip moving, just getting into it. I was like, oh, he's feeling the music in his soul. Oh, okay.
Yes.
And so when he came out on that stage, goodness gracious, I think my heart went 20 miles an hour, and I felt some type of way between my thighs. So.
I cannot. Well, can anyone deny it? Because even the girl, like, I love how Boz Lerman captured the girl in the front of the audience. Like, she was, because it was, a lot of people want to say that was the birth. That was, so rock and roll was already a thing. The way her reaction started, that was the birth of rock and roll for that audience.
Oh yeah.
Being presented to them. So then it's like, I'm listening to the music. And I mean, if you look even before. Austin playing Elvis started singing, and they just looking at him. He's a good looking man. So every girl already knew that because you see them because they kind of start moving like ooh, like, but they're not whispering like oh he's cute. But they're moving like ooh, like so what's he about to do? Then it's like he starts gyrating. Then it's like then they start screaming like so I completely understand. I'm like I feel like for me the first time that happened was probably Justin Timberlake and JC Chazé in sync because they literally the first music video I saw by them was the Bye 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 music video when they're getting dropped down. That was them dropping into my life. That was Elvis taking his way into history. So yeah, yeah, and I folks, Abby Creole, Queen Creole is a singer, and she has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. And she has a lot of really good influences like Amy Winehouse. Yeah, you hear a little bit of that. Tell us about that.
Amy Winehouse, she just, one thing you notice about her music, it's not super duper upbeat happy. Like she really explains her emotions through her music. Like Love is a Losing Game. Man, that's one of my breakup songs that I love to listen to,
Mm,
especially. It's one of those songs that gets you in your feelings. But also she has that fire in her. She's not afraid to speak. And she just stands up. Like, what is it? You know that I'm no good. That's one of those songs you sing like once somebody really broke your heart, but you're in your healing stage. You don't even care
mm,
anymore.
yes.
Um, Rehab. You get into that song. My
Oh yeah.
personal favorite, one
Yeah.
of my favorites, probably has to be Back to Black. I know that's like a
Definitely.
basic, but it's so deep. Like you
Really
feel
is.
that song. But I think for me, for her, I think it's because, especially when I watched the biopic about her, which was a great movie, you get to know a lot more about her. And I kind of understood her on a personal level, seeing how she was going through a lot, especially. She was doing drugs. I believe she was anorexic of some sort or had an eating disorder, from what I remember.
Hmm.
Um, she wasn't around the greatest influences, but her grandmother was her biggest influence. Um, she was always an old soul. You saw her getting down to the Ronettes. You saw her getting down to Shangri-Las. You saw that she was truly trying to recreate oldies. She loved that era. And I think, especially in this community, I've noticed a lot of Elvis girls love her too. It's valid, especially because she was a old soul herself and she portrayed that through her outfits. I think actually her style was a bit pin up, like
Oh,
in a
very
way.
much so. Yes, because like in the movie, I watched it too. That was a really good movie. Bittersweet, like Elvis's movie is bittersweet.
Yes.
Um, she was like her grandma was a pinup, so it was like she was her like she said she was her biggest influence. So I really do like that, and I know we're both in the pinup world, and I want to do my braids in the beehive like hers. I was like, I'm pretty sure there is a way I can do it. I just haven't figured it out yet. I want to do it and shock the world though. I want to figure out how to do it and shock the world. I'm going to get my hairdresser Joey to help me out with it one day. I'm going to be like, Joey, I need you to like my braids. Tell me how we can like make a beehive and show him the picture, and he'll be like, oh, I got you. I just know I know he will have me. That's something I'm ready
Oh
for.
yeah, you
Yeah.
would look amazing with that beehive.
I already know. I'll be like, eat your heart out.
Strut.
Mm-hmm. Black lipstick and all. That's
Yes.
that I like the red, but I really love how the black turns out on me. It's shocking. When I found it, I was so happy and shocked, but you have to use oil to get it off.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we were talking about Austin. Caught
Girl.
Stealing is coming out a few days after his birthday. Are you excited to see Caught Stealing?
Oh, I am excited. The marketing for this movie
Yeah,
that's already been out.
yeah.
Goodness delicious. It's got you revving like bike riders on press tour. Cause I think we all know what that did to us personally.
I saw Homegirl like when he did the bending over the table and looking up.
Yeah.
She stood up, she sat back down like I was like, okay. I was like, no, I feel her. Then he was gonna come over there. I'm Benny. I thought I would have given him everything that moment. I'm Jordan Martin. I'm a Gemini. You want to take me home? What what else you want? You can have this purse at this point.
Exactly.
Whew, goodness, no, that man. Mm-mm-mm. God knew exactly what he did. Did you hear? Okay, so such a weird, freaky fact, and I shared this last year when I did the house tour. Um, the guy that would play the king of rock and roll literally was born the day after he was born. Not in 1977. He was born in 1991, but he was literally born August 17th.
Oh wow.
Tell me that there was no stars aligning for Austin Butler to play that role.
There was. There
I was
truly was.
like, literally set up everything for him. It's insane. But I remember when I told people that and they didn't realize it, that I was like, yeah. And then they were like, wow. And even, I mean, he's the only actor Lisa Marie approved of to play her daddy.
Yes.
That should
Yeah.
tell you something too. That definitely should tell you something. If it doesn't tell you anything else. Now, I know we were talking about Amy Winehouse is one of your biggest influences, and I feel like we've discussed other R&B artists. I know you like oldies, like we mentioned the Shangri-Las, the Ronettes. So, you said Neo and Usher as well.
Yeah, for 2000s, especially them. I remember when I was younger, I used to play also Black Eyed Peas. That was just the time. And I was just singing my humps, not realizing what I was singing at
Girl, no,
all. Um,
I didn't like that song at first. I think because I knew what they were talking about. I like it now. She's got me spinning. That part always got me because it's like if you ever watch the music video and the guys look one way and then it's like y'all believe she got me spending all this money on her. I'm like Fergie was saying I'm a
yeah,
bad woman. Y'all better recognize. Okay, Fergie, I see you. Some
she
of
is.
Fergie's stuff too. She's a lot of to me her voice is very old school.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, especially
definitely.
when what's that song? Big Girls Don't Cry. Very, very much so. Love that song by her.
That was one of
Such
those
a
songs.
such a treasure. That one. Ooh. Girl, we can talk about music all night. So you said your favorite song by Elvis, or at least the first song you heard by him was Heartbreak Hotel.
Yes, that was my first song I heard.
I'm wondering, like, I can't even tell you what the first song by him I heard was. I'm happy you remember. I remember the first time I saw him. 1998, late night movies with my family. Had to be around like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And I remember just seeing him, and it was the first time I actually saw him. Beautiful.
Oh,
I will always say it the same way. Pretty pale blue eyes, dark black jet black hair. And I'm like, who is that? At 8 years old, 8, 9 years old, and my mom and aunt, that's Elvis Presley. And just being like, who? Now I know. And I was like, ooh, next movie. And I remember even like, so Lilo and Stitch came out a few years later in 2002. And they were playing, I think Hound Dog was always the song they put on the commercial or trailer.
yeah.
And so that was one of them. I was like, Mom, you're gonna have to tell me about this. So that was definitely part of my introduction and um loving him and knowing him and finding out about him through that. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, I remember I was in choir, and I
Hmm.
remember one of our songs that we could have selected, but of course, a lot of times I didn't think the class would select it. Was Blue Suede Shoes. I just didn't know how my chorus teacher was going to possibly put that together with our group. So I did select it, but it was sad how many people kind of sat in my choir class and were like, "What is that? I don't know who that person is. I don't
This
know
is
that
the
song."
thing about music. You're so okay. Real artists, real music fans dig deep and dive into the history that is music because music is not just one thing. It's several things. I was watching a show last night and they were talking about if they should censor um Wu-Tang Clan because of the words they say. Some people said yes, some people said no. And then the main character was like, "Well, yes, you don't censor them because you don't silence their voices. They have something to say." And she said, usually when people want to censor it and silence it, it's based on racism. So there are people who don't know, and there are people who need to learn.
Yes.
So, and I mean, a lot of people, I love Elvis. So a lot of people, it started with Elvis for them, rock and roll. But it's deeper. Even he said it. It goes back. Little Richard didn't really, his first hit came out after Elvis's first hit came out, but he had been touring the country prior to Elvis officially coming out. And so did Chuck Berry. They were in different parts of the country. Chuck Berry is known as the father of rock and roll. Little Richard is known as the architect. And then Elvis is known as the king. And it's funny, he's known as the king of rock and roll because to me that means it's like he perfected it. These people gave birth to it, laid the groundwork, and then he just topped it off, the best way possible.
I feel that that's actually usually who my dad would play around the house. If he wasn't playing Tupac or Boys to Men, that was what I grew up to a lot. But
Yeah.
my mom and my nana and my dad especially, they also are oldies lovers. They love oldies. So a lot of my dad's favorites were James Brown, Chuck Berry, Little Richard. We had Ronettes, we had Dixie Cups, we just had a lot of vintage people, vintage sounds, oldie music. And I remember when I actually heard it, I think I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. But when I actually heard it, I just like it gave me a different feeling than other music would have. And that was a nice feeling. That was kind of like a little bit of an awakening deep inside, really realizing, okay, this is what I like. This is what. But I didn't remember that until like truly I understood everything.
Hmm.
Um, because oldies and music to me is not just music. It's
Right.
like storyline,
Hmm.
lyric,
Right.
and depth matter. If
Yes.
you are singing a song, first of all, you need to know what you're singing about.
Amen.
I believe when you sing that you need to put that emotion in it. If the crowd is not feeling your emotions, you're not doing something right, in my opinion.
Right.
Like I remember singing Whitney Houston. I got tears. I got emotions. That's what you want. If your crowd is not feeling your music, you are not singing it correctly.
Hmm.
Um, Especially Greatest Love of All. That was the one I
Yeah.
sang. I got a lot of tears. I had a lot of people just watching me. And I've always told people this, and a lot of people don't get it. They're just like, but it's just music. I'm like, it's not just
Mm-mm.
music. You need to know your storyline. You need to know what you are truly trying to give to the audience. If you're singing of something mumbling or just something that has no meaning, no worth, I get it. There's fun music. That's fine. But when you sing, you want to have something that is being told. I mean,
Right.
that's one thing about Elvis. He has always been able to tell a story through his movements or either his own voice, because we all know he changed a lot. Like Mr. 50s was squeaky, then he went all the way down to low, and he
Yeah.
started to get even deeper in the music. And if you notice something, it probably, I'd say, starts maybe in the late 60s and 70s. His music gets a little more down, a
Yeah.
little more, I wouldn't say depressing, but a little more meaningful too.
Yeah.
It seems like the 50s was a lot of upbeat, having fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Party. Let's party. Let's have a party isn't a good example. So it went from let's have a
yes.
party to like what's that song? It's now or never. That one. Like him
Yes.
coming back home from the army. That song really was that was something. And it's funny you mentioned Whitney Houston. You know the song I Have Nothing?
Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Linda Thompson wrote that for Elvis. And
I
I
read.
remember when I found that out, I was like, if you hear those words, take my life, take me for what I am, and all that you are, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman was really in love with this man. Um, ooh, that's just, it's
Man,
something.
I have a pen and paper in my hands so quick if I got a chance with him.
Right, right.
I'll be like, I'm gonna sing my soul out to this man to
Yeah,
give me a
walking toward
chance.
me like the tiger he is.
Ooh,
Like, yeah, I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure because he always, they said he always had a stretch. So I'm about to say, walking toward me like the tiger he is, ready to tame the untamable. And I'm like, let loose.
come on, pounce me right now. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, Abby. All right. We're going to wrap it up here. But it was great talking to you. Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Sips and Chill with RJ, and we'll see y'all next time. Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill, Sips and Chill with RJ. Sips and Chill. This is.
Abby Creole.